Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of B&A Sports Talk. And today, what I want to talk about is my offensive tackle rankings. Now, this is my first edition. I'm going to come out with a second edition because I haven't watched that much film on Tristan Wirfs, and it would be irresponsible for me to come out with a video saying these are my definitive offensive tackle rankings. I also want to watch a little bit more of Austin Jackson and a couple other guys. I know there's a guy out of Penn State that people are saying are pretty good. I think Auburn as well. I'm going to do my due diligence and watch them a little bit. If nothing really pops out of me, then I won't really watch that much film. But so right now, I want to talk about what I think of the draft right now. Isaiah Simmons, I think, has to be the pick at 4. I looked at a poll on Instagram. New York Giant Pete did a poll of like 1,000 people replied, and pretty much 700, 77% said Isaiah Simmons, and I agree with them. Isaiah Simmons, we all know the traits about him. He's versatile. He can cover tight end, something we've been missing for years and years and years, something we really need. Imagine him, Blake Martinez. People say he's a tackling machine. I don't really think he's that great, but, a tackling machine, a guy who can cover tight ends, and then Ryan Connolly, who feels like he has a feel for the ball and can just make interceptions. And then for our depth, we have David Mayo, and who else do we have? I don't know. But Kyle Fackrell, but he's more of an outside. He's more of an edge guy. But, so the Giants could be elite on the front seven. We could be really good at the front seven. That will endanger opposing offenses. Like we need to hold guys. Too often, or is it like, oh man, we left the point at 10's a game. It's like, oh, the team just drove down the field like the Buccaneers did. We shouldn't have won that game. We should be 3-13 this year. So anyway, let's just go into my offensive tackle rankings and my thoughts. So number 5, I have Mekhi Becton. Now I know a lot of you thinking, well, why do you have him at 5? He's like a physical freak. Yeah, but that's pretty much all he has. I don't think that he's technically sound at all. I think he's really raw, and picking him at number 4 would be a mistake. Now, that's the only place he's going to be available. And so the couple things I've noticed, secondary blocking, often just missed defensive ends. So he's not going to be really good in the run game. In the pass game, sometimes you get a speedy defensive end, and they just run right around him. And he did do some pancake blocks. That sometimes he just got beaten around the edge, and it meant problems for his quarterback. His quarterback was very mobile, which I think did confuse him a little bit. Like, he never really got used to his quarterback being so mobile. It's just like, oh yeah, I was supposed to block regular. I didn't realize you were going to start running. So that is a challenge for offensive tackles to have. Yeah, so Mekhi Becton, a really raw prospect, and he's just big. He's going to be a rock. He's going to be solid. I wouldn't mind a second-round pick, but I don't think he's going to be great value at 4. I don't think he's best tackle available. Again, once he puts his hands on you, it's over. It's really over. And sometimes he would just give up towards the end of games. Like, it would just be either be losing by 2 touchdowns, he would kind of give up, and he would try to throw people around. Just like, that's not something you want to do. You want to use your weight to block. You don't want to use leverage up. I don't know what he was trying to do there. Number 4, Josh Jones. He took a couple penalties in a couple games I saw, but I don't really think that was his fault. A couple false starts. You don't like to see that, but that's a little bit of a note. What I do like about him, he's a small frame, but I think he's going to fill out a little bit. He's 23 years old, so he's a pretty old off right tackle. He just still needs some work. Sometimes he gets a little bit too vertical and when he's backing up in his pass sets, but overall, he's not going to get pushed around that much, even though he's a little bit of a slight frame. He has nice agility and nice mobility. Something I really did like about him is in the run game, he would just find a guy and block him. And he would always be looking for guys to block. It's so amazing. He could be versatile in this Giants game. Imagine starting him at right tackle. We pick him in the second round, great value. And then he could just help us out in the run game, help us out in the pass game. And, he'll make some mistakes here and there. He'll get called for some false starts. But Josh Jones, 23. He's all 4 years in Houston. Never really a problem with him. Just solid. I don't think he ever really got injured. Strong, just solid. He reminds me a lot of Andrew Thomas in a way. He's just a solid guy. Andrew Thomas just a little bit bigger and played at a bigger school. That's why he's ranked higher, and that's why I trust him a little bit more. Number 3 is Tristan Wirfs. Now, I'd lie to you if I said I watched Tristan Wirfs that much, but from what I hear, this dude is just very versatile. And you look at his combine 4.8, that's ridiculous. So if we can put him in at guard, if he works better at guard, that's fine. Especially, you have Kevin Zeitler, who's not getting any younger. So, eventually, if we draft Tristan Wirfs and we put him at guard, that'd be great. I just don't want to pick him at 4. That's the trend. I don't want to pick him at 4. It feels like it's too high to pick a guy like that. I trade back and select him at 9 or 12, but I wouldn't select him at 4. his length is great. I just haven't watched a lot of film, so I can't comment about it. I'm going to have a better ranking list later. Number 2, I have Jedrick Wills. Now, him and Andrew Thomas are my top 2. So, Jedrick Wills, the thing I don't really like about him, it doesn't seem like he has a lot of dog in him. I know a lot of people say he's ferocious, but I never really saw that. I see a lot of, analytical. I see a lot of thinking, and that's good. Pass game, if we start him in at right tackle, we won't have to worry about him whatsoever. He's going to be solid. We're going to be like, oh, shit, Jedrick Wills, we haven't really heard his name in a while. And that's a good thing. Sometimes offensive line, you don't need him to be like a Quentin Nelson, mauling guys, or like a Brendan Sheriff and mauling guys. Has stayed healthy, protected Tua, even though he got injured a couple times. Wasn't really his fault. Decent in the run game. I think he's a little bit overrated in the run game, but he's solid frame. He's 6'5", I believe. And yeah, so Jedrick Wills started all 3 years at right tackle. Never a problem. And yeah, there's a reason why they put him at right tackle, because they wanted him to trust Tua's blind side. He's a great pass blocker. But then again, I don't think we have that much of a problem with pass blocking. I think our main problem is run blocking at this point. I think that Daniel Jones will do a better job, feeling the pocket a little bit better. This year, Eli Manning didn't really get sacked, but obviously with this air Coryell offense, you need a little bit more time in the pocket. So a good pass blocker is certainly not going to hurt. And number 1, Andrew Thomas. The reason why I have him at number 1 is although he may be a little bit slow, he's not that great bending around the edge. I think, again, I mentioned with Josh Jones, I should have mentioned the pancake blocking. Andrew Thomas just has all the tools in the tool belt that he can use. We've seen it. 3 years in the SEC, no pressures. You have Jake Fromm, who is a statue in that pocket, rarely getting pressured. Jake Fromm should have stepped up some more times. But you take a look. I was looking at the film, left tackle compared to right tackle. Right tackle, Fromm is getting pressured all the time. Left tackle, he never had a problem. Secondary blocking, he's willing to go out and run in space and maul guys. He's physical. He's, again, a great run blocker. He's the only guy, I think, if we pick at number 4, I won't be complaining. I think that Andrew Thomas worked in the SEC against great, fast defensive ends. He played Notre Dame. He played Florida. He played Alabama, guys that are going to be drafted LSU. And he really held his own against guys that are going to be drafted in the first round this year. He's the only guy I'll be comfortable drafting at number 4. But again, a lot of people, he's plus 1,100 to be the first offensive tackle in this draft. There are 3 offensive tackles that are supposed to be drafted ahead of him. I agree with most just Giants fans and fans in general of football that they say Andrew Thomas is the best left tackle in this draft. He just does everything the best. I think, again, Jedrick Wills is a little bit overrated offensively with with the run game. I think he is. Andrew Thomas is big, 6'5". It's just he's meant to play football. If you look at that, he's a football player. And guys like Josh Jones, I know he played basketball, so he's athletic in that way. But Andrew Thomas was made to play football. But hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know your rankings. Again, I'll probably get an updated list in a couple weeks as I watch more prospects. Maybe Austin Jackson really blows me away. Maybe Tristan Wirfs blows me away a little bit more. I'm excited to watch his film. And I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.